Dude, Square Enix gotta be like top 5 most frustrating video game companies out there, right? Like, at least when it comes to EA or Activision Blizzard, we're not exactly expecting the best, but when it comes to like these weird freaking takes that just seem so disjointed from reality, it becomes extra frustrating when the company making these or having these opinions puts out really good games. Bloomberg reported and put out an article, link in the description down below, along with an IGN article summarizing it, that I'll mostly be relying on, that the Final Fantasy makers' 30% plunge may be just the beginning. For those who don't know, Final Fantasy 16 came out this year. It's a great game. It may end up being my game of the year. It is well crafted, an amazing story, wonderful characters, fun combat. It's a great time. But the problem is with Square Enix, every time they have one success, they have to have like 5 failures off the back of that. And on the IGN article, they said that analysts, to quote here, analysts told the publication that Final Fantasy 16 failed to make up for the poor performance of previous Square Enix flops, such as Marvel's Avengers and Forspoken, and mobile games that were shut down soon after launch. I'm going to try and give them the benefit of the doubt and say that I don't think they believed that Final Fantasy XVI was gonna make up for the losses from Avengers and Forspoken and a bunch of mobile game shutdowns. I'm gonna really try and give them the benefit of the doubt on that one. But the main issue that I have comes in the next paragraph on the IGN article. The root of the problem, sources told Bloomberg, is that producers were given full reign, quote-unquote, over the scope and direction of projects, whose goals can shift without warning. The upshot of this is volatility in the quality of the final product. This reads to me as if it's trying to shift blame for Square Enix's financial woes onto Naoki Yoshida, the producer of Final Fantasy XVI. And what the hell do they mean by volatility in the quality of the final product? The game was great, what are they talking about? Like, maybe boss design after Bahamut kinda simmered down a little bit, but what? The quality was great, what are they talking about? I mean, Square Enix is no freaking stranger to overestimating how well a game should perform, but just think about this. Final Fantasy XVI jumped up to an M rating, was $70, and is a PS5 exclusive that also came out in summer, or at least near the summer. Did they expect it to sell well than it did? Because I looked at the numbers for the sales of Final Fantasy XVI and I thought, yeah, that's arguably even better than I thought it would sell. Like, you can't just ignore the realities of the video game industry. You are always going to lose sales by going up to $70, and you are going to lose a bunch of sales because it was a PS5 exclusive. Did they think that it was going to sell consoles? Like, off the shelves? Like Halo did for the Xbox way back when? Or that Breath of the Wild did for the Switch? Did they think that? There's no way they actually thought that, right? Square Enix is just absolutely baffling sometimes. Because they have a style of game that they absolutely excel at. That is RPGs. But they keep trying to put out these games like Marvel's Avengers and Forspoken that feel so wildly disconnected from what Square Enix excels at. And then when they try and branch out and make new titles, they almost act as if they're not putting effort into them. I know they are, but look at the marketing for Bravely Default, Triangle Strategy, and Octopath Traveler. They all have the same freaking logo, get barely any marketing, and either rely on pixelated art styles or art styles that look like they come from the freaking GameCube. Like, what are we doing? Did you expect those other series to do as well as Final Fantasy and to break out into the limelight when you don't put any effort into the idea of marketing them or making them individualized and give them a sense of identity? What was the goal here? And then they announced a game like Foam Stars that just looks like they copied freaking Splatoon but made it foam this time. They just put out Ever Crisis, which just feels like a cash grab, and that shoves monetization in your face like every time you log in. I just want to know what their expectations for Final Fantasy XVI were. What did they expect that it would do? I know they said that they were satisfied with the numbers. I want to know what their predictions were. Because to me, if 16 has any issues, they're more than abundantly obvious. $70 in summer for a PS5 exclusive, because you want to know the reality of the situation. The consumer cares about the consumer and what's going to give them the best time and the best offer. And when a bunch of other companies are going to start doing sales in summer as well, and massive discounts, what gives the player or the consumer more value? Picking up a bunch of great games on a discount or one $70 purchase? This really doesn't feel that hard to me, but it seems like every time that Square Enix tries to branch out for a new AAA release, they always just feel like they want to be bootleg EA from Wish. Square Enix is a two-horse race. They have Dragon Quest, and we haven't seen or heard from Dragon Quest XII in quite some time. And they have Final Fantasy. Every time they try and branch out, it's met with either moderate success or just gets forgotten. And when they try and actually put some publicity into a new release, the game is filled with a bunch of monetization no one cares about, or feels so weirdly disconnected from the soul and identity of what people love about Square Enix games. Like Forspoken, like Marvel's Avengers. I don't know, it just feels super frustrating when the answer seems so obvious. Just make good games. You made a good game with Final Fantasy 16, but then you put it in a position to fail as much as you humanly could. Why can't Final Fantasy just settle on being multi-platform? Why do they keep going in and out of being multi-platform? You can't develop a sufficient player base on other consoles and other platforms if you're gonna only give them every other game. Or games with these massive delays so the hype dies down. Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy 15, multi-platform. 7 Remake, PlayStation exclusive, eventually comes to PC. Final Fantasy 16, PlayStation exclusive, eventually comes to PC. And then at the Final Fantasy 14 NA Fan Fest, they announced, hey, we're gonna have a bit of a partnership with Xbox now. I think that means they want to be multi-platform in the future, which is good. Maybe they finally understand that they succeed when more people have access to their games or have ways of playing their games. I'm sure Final Fantasy 16 sold some consoles, but it's not going to sell as many as, say, like God of War, or even like Spider-Man 2 or something. I don't know, it's just baffling. And I know reports, and even the IGN article, again, link in the description down below, talks about Square Enix starting to change its focus and reducing, again, to quote, the number of smaller games in the works to focus on big budget games that have a greater chance of making an impact on the company's bottom line. Square Enix declined to comment. But it really shouldn't be that hard to advertise non-Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy series, or to have these games just be good games and not try and wedge a bunch of monetization that compromises the core experience of the game. Or release games where I can legitimately not tell you what the target audience is for. I don't know who the hell Forspoken was supposed to appeal to. I couldn't tell you. I don't know, man. Square Enix is just frustrating at times, you know? Super frustrating. And then when they finally put out an amazing game, they give it so many expectations, or just put it in a position where it can fail as much as it can. Like Final Fantasy 16. That game, in my opinion, should have been multi-platform. But like I said at the top of this video, Square Enix frustrates me. But let me know in the comments down below your thoughts, your opinions on Square Enix overall. What do you think about how they've been doing lately? What do you want to see from them in the future? Are you as frustrated with them as I am? Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts and hear your opinions. And while you're down there, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out and helps support future content, and I greatly appreciate it. Stay safe, have a great day, go play some video games if you can, and as always, I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye, everybody, until we meet again.